sir. Eat that meat, Jennifer.
Why doesn't that feather look pleasant?
Fasten your taste buds,
For gastronomic ride.
because us two fat ladies are itching up to get into your kitchen.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Great county, Gloucestershire, perfect for a pony club rally. What's that? It's like a gymkhana, Jennifer. We're cooking for lots of little children on ponies.
Look at these dear little creatures. We must be getting close.
Oh, look, they're here.
Hello.
Hello.
I'm Clarissa. Hello.
And I'm Jessica. May I introduce Mary?
Hello, I'm DC of the Cotswold Hunt Pony Club.
Are you indeed?
Curtsy, Jennifer. Down to District Commissioner.
All the children are here getting ready for brushing their ponies.
They're very smart.
They look wonderful.
Yes,
Lovely.
sweet.
Good turnout. Where will the gymkhana be?
Well, it's just through this gap here, and then it's in a field at the bottom there.
And did you manage to find us a kitchen?
We have indeed. It's just through here.
Thank heavens for that.
This is the barn where they're going to have their lunch.
Beautiful.
It's a fine place.
It's rather splendid. Anyway, if you'd like to follow me.
I'll help Demelza with Mabel.
Right, see you later.
Who's Mabel?
The pony, Jennifer, the pony.
Come on through. Lovely little church. It is, isn't it? It's beautiful.
As a special treat for the Dear Pony Club, I'm going to make a chocolate creme brulee. And here I've got a nice jug of double cream.
That's what I'd like to see, a whole jug of double cream.
No nonsense here. And a vanilla pod. Nice and aphrodisiacal. Just bend it in the middle, put it in the cream, and I'm going to heat the cream until it's scalding but not boiling. It mustn't boil, it just reach scalding point.
Well, it'll curdle, curdle, won't it?
That's right, it'll be horrible. And here I've got some icing sugar and 4 egg yolks. And I'm just going to put them into the icing sugar and mix them in well. It's not a French pudding at all, creme brulee. It's really Trinity burnt creams.
Cambridge, no?
Cambridge, that's right. Young Scottish man called Reed, who came down to be a tutor at Trinity and offered the recipe to the kitchens, and they declined it. Oh, no, don't want any of that nasty stuff.
Silly fools.
And he said, oh, well, one day I'll be master of Trinity, and he was. And he had it at his inaugural banquet.
Why it's got a French name, I don't know.
I expect it's the Victorians, isn't it? Sort of foreign food is better, or posher, or something. But you have half the hotels in the British Isles still trying to pretend they're Escoffier.
I'm curious to see you using icing sugar.
Yes, it just seems to mix in better because of the chocolate. For ordinary brulee, I'd use caster. Just get my cream. And I've got to cover this and leave it to infuse. It needs to infuse for 15 minutes.
To get a delicious taste
Of vanilla.
It's a very pungent smell, isn't it?
Vanilla, yes, it's a wonderful smell. They put it in a lot of perfumes nowadays. I don't know if I like it all that much.
I don't either, but people used to use it during the war when you couldn't get any scent. They used to get a bit of vanilla essence, put it behind their ears.
And now I'm going to fish out the vanilla pod. Strange to think, isn't it, that vanilla was another of those things that we didn't have till after Christopher Columbus. But it was very common for the Aztecs and the Incas, and then the Spanish brought it back.
Will you rinse that off and use it again?
No, I know you can, but what I'm going to do is just slit it open, like that, and then scrape the seeds back into the mixture.
I hope the little dears will like this. You don't think it's a bit outré for them?
My dear, this is the Cotswolds. They're probably more sophisticated than we are. And now I'm just going to put lots of lovely chocolate into it. And stir it in, melt it in well. The cream's still hot enough.
I'm not really very fond of horses. I think I'm a bit frightened of them. I was once bitten by a Shetland pony in Gretna Green, of all places.
Teach you to get a Gretna Green with it.
Left a great bite on my arm.
Well, don't worry, dear, I'll look after you.
I believe if you breathe into their nostrils, they tell you all their secrets.
Well, so I'm told, yes. More likely to take your nose off, I would
think, too.
Certainly Shetland ponies.
You know, they eat them in Holland because apparently they're nice, round little creatures. They make very good eating.
Yes,
Yeah.
I'm sure they do.
Very good idea.
So there we are, all melting in nicely now. Make sure there are no lumps. And then I'm just going to pour it into my icing, sugar and egg yolks.
Should I stir while you pour the hot stuff in?
That would be very kind,
We
thank
don't
you.
want a curdle, do we?
Indeed, no.
Yum, yum.
Can I tempt you to this, do we think?
Oh, absolutely. Creme brulee is the only thing I like where eggs and cream mixed. It doesn't wobble.
It's the wobbling you object to.
Don't bear the wobble.
Now I'm just going to pour it into my ramekin dishes. Fill them up well.
Chocolate is always luxurious looking.
Isn't it? Such a lovely colour. There we are. Look at that.
This is going to be an incredibly rich
I know.
compilation. Yeah, that stuff's absolutely bang full of everything.
Every good thing you can think of. And I'm just going to put some water, hot but not boiling, around the bottom of this. And just pour it so it comes about halfway up. And this whole contraption is known as a bain-marie. Heavens knows why. It's a roasting tin with water in it. So I'm just going to put this in the cool oven of the Aga for about 30 minutes, perhaps a little less. You can look at it after 2025. There we are.
I'm going to make what I call a Welsh rabbit souffle, which is a bastardized version of the proper Welsh rabbit, and the purists will say, oh, you know, but it's just different, and it makes it all nice and fluffy, and I think the children will like it.
Fluffy bunny, in fact.
A fluffy Welsh bunny.
Yeah.
But I think it's probably suitable for children. I think nearly all of them like cheese, unless the little wretches have developed an allergy. They all seem to have allergies nowadays, don't they?
It's fashionable.
Anyway, I grated some cheese, very, very good, mature cheddar, the real thing, with lovely rind on it. It's not in any way comparable to that sort of muck you buy in cling film, looking like a slab of soap. Use this proper stuff. And we'll put all this cheese into a bowl. 4 egg yolks. Mix that in a bit. Rather like Clarissa, I think all these little children will be egg-bound by the time we've finished with them. Half a dessertspoon of dry mustard. Give it quite a good bit of flavour. And then a good dollop of French mustard. I suppose I'd better not make it too strong for dear little kiddiweeders, but I want some Tabasco in it.
Yeah, not too much.
No, not too much. They probably all eat chili chips or something anyway. And good old Worcester, of course. Time-honoured Worcester.
Hail!
Hail, time-honoured Worcester, hast thou, according to thine oath and ban, brought hither Hereford, thy son.
Yes, Jennifer, get on with the cooking. Cut the Shakespeare.
Now, we've got all that. And now I've got these whites of eggs. Beat until stiff, enough to do that, you see? Then take a spoonful and just work that in. Then scoop in all the rest of the whites. You stir these in the good old manner of a figure of 8. That's all right, I think. And then you get these bits of toast. Now pile it in equal proportions. For heaven's sake, as usual, use good bread, not slimy white slice. Then spread it out, trying to cover the crust, because I'm going to put it into a very hot oven, and we don't want the crusts getting burnt on the edges. And if you cover them, they're dead. I think that's about fair. Give it a sprinkling of black pepper. There, now I'm going to put these into a hot oven. The equivalent of gas 7 or 8 even, because anything with the egg white in needs a hot oven, otherwise it won't rise. This won't rise as much as a proper souffle, but it will be nice with a brown top. Ha-ha! They've got all crusty on top.
Yeah, they have a bit.
Will you brulee them now?
Well, not
No.
these ones, because they need to cool down. So I've got some that I've had in the fridge. I'm going to take these out and get my cool ones.
Oh, have you got a fine salamander to brulee with?
Aha, no, we're into high technology. Ta-dam!
They're terrifying, those things.
It's a blowtorch. But first I've got to sprinkle them with sugar. Just ordinary caster sugar.
A fine layer.
Make sure it's all covered. But you don't want it too thick either. Otherwise you get this great crust of caramel that the poor little things won't be able to break.
They're quite hefty. Well, I suppose they'd be hungry little
They'll
creatures,
be
wouldn't they?
famished,
Yeah.
Jennifer. They'll be dashing around, throwing themselves on and off ponies all day. There's let alone the high tension of it.
Amanda's winning again.
Have you got a lighter on you?
Yeah, of course.
There we are, and away we go.
That is wonderful, isn't it?
Isn't it lovely? And let it caramelise. If you're at home and you don't have a blowtorch, you can, of course, use a hot grill, but make sure you heat the grill first, because otherwise you just put them in and they'll all melt and it'll be a horrible mess. And then they just go back into the fridge to chill, yes.
Yeah.
Well, I'll leave them to cool for a bit before I put them in. And then it all hardens up and you break it with your spoon.
Yes, that's the great fun of a brulee.
Mm.
I've heard about this wonderful pig farm round here, and I've wanted to go for ages. Can we go, please?
Off we jolly well go then.
This is the place.
About that dog.
I think he'll probably move.
How's the way down?
He just missed him. What a lovely place,
Wonderful house.
isn't it? Yeah. Well, I wonder where these pigs are.
Can you hear them?
Not a thing. But I think I can follow my nose. I think this way, Jennifer. Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Aren't they lovely, your old spots?
Well, yeah, they are old spots, and they are lovely. So that I can't do anything but agree with that.
But you're the great specialist for them, aren't you?
Well, I don't know. I've been around Gloucester spots a long time. That's you know, right back to sort of third generation back. That's as far as I know that had them.
Was one of them called Don Watts?
Don Watts?
Yes. Whose pigs are these? Whose pigs are these?
They're old John Watts. You can tell them by their spots. And they found them in the vicarage garden. That's right. I know that one.
They're orchard pigs,
Old
aren't they?
Gloucestershire song. Yeah, they call them orchard pigs because they used to scavenge on the apples in the autumn, you see.
Delicious.
Run under the trees, and of course you've got, you know, applesauce then already instilled into the meat, you see.
Weren't the spots supposed to be from the apples falling on their backs?
That's a story, yeah. Well, black and blue, you see. There's always a story with pigs.
What gives them such good flavour?
They're bred to grow at their own pace and do everything at their own pace, because they say they won't be drove. Gloucester spots won't be drove.
What age do you butcher them at?
Well, they generally go somewhere about 22 weeks, where in a commercial unit, where they're reared intensively and they've been bred to grow very fast, and so, of course, don't get so much flavour, they would be getting them away at the same weights probably at about 18 weeks.
So, should we just pick one up and put it in the boot?
No, I don't think that'd be very wise, would it? I could lift one of these anyway. They're not quite ready to go, actually. No, I think the best thing is to go down to the butcher in the Broad Street at Newend He has my pigs, and he'll fix you up with the meat.
It's all making me hungry, all this. Come on, let's go and find some. Thank you so much for showing us your pigs.
Thank you,
Goodbye.
they're lovely.
Oh,
Lovely
thank
to
you.
meet you.
Goodbye.
Bye.
One can never learn too young the benefits of mixing meat and shellfish together, so I'm going to cook a Portuguese dish, which is pork with clams. I'm going to start by grinding up some garlic with some salt in this pestle and mortar. There we are, there's a nice pulp of this. Spread this over the pork. Nice bit of fat. He was right about those Gloucester ale spots, wasn't he?
Yes, it looks a beautiful piece of pork. Real
Yeah.
proper stuff.
If you don't have the opportunity of buying lovely pork like Gloucester Old Spot, make sure when you buy the pork that it has a good, nice layer of fat on it, and that the meat is a good, clear pink. And now I'm going to paint it with some chili sauce. In this case, because it's a Portuguese recipe, piri-piri sauce. Piri-piri is the type of chili that the Portuguese have made their own. You can buy it in any decent delicatessen, and if you can't find it, then just use any chili sauce, really, but not one of the sweeter ones, just a plain chili sauce.
They also have, always on the table, like we might have pepper and salt, they always have a little bottle of sherry, and it's all full of it's full of the piri-piri berries, and they put it into soup and things.
How sensible.
Yeah.
Chili sherry. We'll make sure it painted all round, because it's going to sink into the meat and flavour it.
It looks good.
Doesn't it look good?
Yeah. Technicolor.
Right, there we are, all nicely painted. And you've got to leave this to stand for 24 hours, in case you think you're going to have an awfully long wait. Mother's little helpers have been very busy.
Mother's little helpers.
The elves, dear, the elves. Look at that.
It's all gone. It's all soaked in. It'll be delicious.
And I'm going to cut this into inch pieces. You want to leave the fat on, you see, and then when you fry it, it'll all crisp up. When I was a child, my father used to have pigs. He started keeping them during the war. And the first lot were just called ordinary names, and the children wouldn't eat them. So then the next lot he called Goebel and Goering and Rommel, and told them they were doing their bit for the war effort by eating them.
They're particularly happy to eat Jerry.
Oh, yes. And this is loin of pork. But if you don't have loin of pork, you could use leg of pork for this dish. There we are. Right, well, I'm going to take this off and fry it. And I'll take my clams with me at the same time.
I love that mixture. It's a marvellous combination. Now there are potatoes and potatoes, aren't there? I'm going to do a dish that I think will go extremely well with Clarissa's. It also goes very well with game or roasts. And it was taught to me by a great big Australian, so I call it Pete's Pommy Poms.
Pete's Pommy Pom de terre, surely.
Anyway, I think it's really delicious. Now, the essential thing for this is a mandolin. I'm very fond of using the mandolin. It cuts the potatoes very finely. And another tip is I've often seen people holding it that way, doing that. Well, it often slips like that, and you're liable to cut, start grating your knuckles into it. It's a great deal easier if you put it on top of a bowl, then you've got the pressure, and you just do that, you see, and it goes in very nicely. This is merely to show you I have a nice big bowl full underneath.
Do you think they're better than food processors?
Yes, I do, because this I can put on any bowl size I want. And in a processor, you have to keep turning them out and starting again. And what we'll do now is I want to get the potatoes dried off a bit. We don't want them sopping wet. So I put them in water to remove a bit of the starch. This is really the same beginning as dauphinoise potatoes. But they, of course, are cooked with large quantities of cream, not to be sniffed at, but this is different. Just pat them dry a bit. We don't want them slopping about the place. Now, get a nice little roasting pan and some very nice olive oil and put that in the bottom. Swished around a bit. Now, what we want to do is we want to put about 5 layers of potatoes interspersed with herbs, garlic, salt, pepper, you know, what you will. So you get them and layer them quite nicely. These potatoes are ziri. They're quite good because they're rather waxy.
You want a waxy potato for that?
I think it should be slightly waxy because I don't want them to fall to pieces, which some do. There, you get a layer like that. And now I'm going to sprinkle it with a variety of herbs. I'll put some parsley, a few little bits of garlic, some sprigs of rosemary, and delicious fresh thyme, which gives a wonderful flavour. Now, a little salt. You do this every time. Every time you make layer, you do the same thing. And some pepper. Then more oil. A drizzle of. I think the finger trick is the answer. You can see how delicious this is going to be with all these flavours. These sort of potatoes, if you have an enemy or if you found somebody has parked very unpleasantly and locked your car in, you know, there's a terrible thing you can do. You can stick a large potato up the exhaust, and when they drive away, they'll only go about 200 yards and they'll stop, but they won't know what's gone wrong.
Jennifer, it'll blow up the engine.
No, they won't stop the car.
Sure, it'll blow up the engine.
But that's a naughty tale. You better not do it. These will all shrink, so don't worry about the pan getting rather full. They'll all go down into a lovely sort of roasted squash. There. That's the last of that. And then I'm just going to put in a little good stock. Whatever good stock. Make it a nice fresh stock. Be it only vegetable. Just to dampen it so that it won't dry out. But in fact, when it's ready, I rather like it to be almost slightly burnt around the edges, sort of brown and crispy. And Bob's your uncle. I'll put it in a hot oven to begin with. It should take, I think, about 3/4 of an hour to an hour. But I'll look at it in half an hour. In you go. And God be with you.
Ah.
Now then, ma'am, how's the clam?
Well, they're just dandy, honey.
Oh, they look delicious.
Look, can you see that? All that nice pork. Now it's nice and brown.
Wonderful.
And I'm just going to put the clams in. So what I'll do first is just put in the rest of this coriander. I've been frying it in lard.
Oh.
Well, it's pork fat, isn't it?
Yes.
You can do it with olive oil if you must, but I think it's nicer with lard. And I've put in half the coriander and a bit of salt. I'm just going to put in the rest of the coriander. There we are. And now,
Clam time.
just put them in.
With a spit.
Make sure all your clams are closed and well washed, of course. And as the heat hits them, they'll open.
Yes. Does it look pretty?
And all the juice from the clams, of course, you want to meld in.
Once they've opened.
Look, lovely. There they go.
Opening up.
They really don't take long at all. And as soon as they're open, then the dish is ready for the table.
Just the sort of thing I like.
There we are. All opening up nicely.
Ravishing.
Well, if we get stuck for lack of horsepower, there'll be lots to push us. Look, Jennifer, chase bitch, aren't they? You see, they keep following each other around until they drop out when they hit something. Morning.
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 Lovely day for it.
Yes, lovely.
Hey, it's the district commissioner again.
Hello.
How are you? Are these all your little children out
Well,
there?
they're not all mine, but one or two.
Look at them, they're wonderful.
Aren't they? Nothing, absolutely nothing, Jennifer, equals the passion of a small girl for her first pony.
You're telling me.
Nothing's ever the same again.
I think they're very brave.
Well, it's great. I mean, you know, you have a lovely time. You think what town children do in wet weather. You know, they just sit indoors and watch dreadful television.
Bliss.
We'd better be off, Jennifer. They'll be finishing soon. Cheerio. Come on.
Yes, we better go beautify the bar. Doodle, Pep.
Ladies Annabelle! Ladies Annabelle! Let's go!
First, second, or savoury course. Take your pick.
Educate your children's palate with this taste of Portugal.
Good crispy potatoes, good with game instead of chips.
A quick crack, then total heaven.
Look at it, William.
Jodhpurs, Jemimas, Gymkhanas, it's all frightfully British words.
I wonder what happened to Archie. He got cashiered in karate, took to pig sticking in quite the wrong way. I wonder what happened to him. I think he'd no card.
Probably. I'm glad I'm not a pony club mother, though. Can you imagine all that rushing around, keeping all those little tots on horses and things?
Total dedication, it seems to me.
Wonderful.
You have to get all the right clothes and the little ponies. Heaven knows what it all amounts to in the end.
Anyway, you're looking frightfully horsey in that headscarf, Jennifer. Quite like our own dear Queen.
I don't think she'd be too pleased with that. Horsey.
Mm.
The little children were sweet. I have a feeling we may have poisoned them.
Why is that?
I'm not quite sure we gave them quite the right diet. Everything was very highly spiced. You're piri-piri, and I'm heavily garlic potatoes. Everything. I think they don't get the collywobbles.
Oh, well, we'll be long gone by the time they have to clean up the mess in the morning.
Long gone and quick.
Dear. Right, it's all very agreeable, these outings to the countryside.
You know my feelings about the country.
Well...
Cold and wet.
You know you enjoy it, really, even if it only gives you time to grumble when you get home.
You're very good health.
And yours. Have a sniff today. It'll warm you up.
I don't know what I'd do in the country. I'd just take to snifters, I think.
They're good hill, aren't they? Lots of wallet.
I've got these whites of eggs, beat until stiff, enough to do that, you see? Then take a spoonful and just work that in. Then scoop in all the rest of the whites. You stir these in the good old manner of a figure of 8. That's all right, I think. And then you get these bits of toast. Now pile it in equal proportions. For heaven's sake, as usual, use good bread, not slimy white slice. Then spread it out, trying to cover the crust, because I'm going to put it into a very hot oven, and we don't want the crusts getting burnt on the edges. And if you cover them, they're dead. I think that's about fair. Give it a sprinkling of black pepper. There, now I'm going to put these into a hot oven, the equivalent of gas 7 or 8 even, because anything with the egg white in needs a hot oven, otherwise it won't rise. This won't rise as much as a proper souffle, but it will be nice with a brown top. Ha-ha! They've got all crusty on top.
Yeah, they have a bit.
Will you brûler it?
And now I'm going to fish out the vanilla pod. Strange to think, isn't it, that vanilla was another of those things that we didn't have till after Christopher Columbus. But it was very common for the Aztecs and the Incas, and then the Spanish brought it back.
Mm. Will you rinse that off and use it again?
No, I know you can, but what I'm going to do is just slit it open, like that, and then scrape the seeds back into the mixture.
I hope the little dears will like this. You don't think it's a bit outré for them?
My dear, this is the Cotswolds. They're probably more sophisticated than we are. And now I'm just going to put lots of lovely chocolate into it. And stir it in, melt it in well. The cream's still hot enough.
I'm not really very fond of horses. I think I'm a bit frightened of them. I was once bitten by a Shetland pony in Gretna Green, of all places.
Teach you to get a Gretna Green with it.
Left a great bite on my arm.
Well, don't worry, dear, I'll look after you.
I believe if you breathe into their nostrils, they tell you all their secrets.
Well, so I'm told, yes. More likely to take your nose off, I would
think, too.
Certainly Shetland ponies.
You know, they eat them in Holland, because apparently they're nice, round little creatures. They make very good eating.
Yes, yeah. I'm sure they do.
Very good idea.
So there we are.
And now, I'm going to sprinkle it with a variety of herbs. I'll put some parsley, a few little bits of garlic, some sprigs of rosemary, and delicious fresh thyme, which gives a wonderful flavour. Now, a little salt. You do this every time. Every time you make layer, you do the same thing. And some pepper. Then more oil. A drizzle of. I think the finger trick is the answer. You can see how delicious this is going to be with all these flavours. These sort of potatoes, if you have an enemy or if you found somebody has parked very unpleasantly and locked your car in, you know, there's a terrible thing you can do. You can stick a large potato up the exhaust, and when they drive away, they'll only go about 200 yards and they'll stop, but they won't know what's gone wrong.
Jennifer, it'll blow up the engine.
No, they won't to stop the car.
Sure, it'll blow up the engine.
But that's a naughty tale. You better not do it. These will all shrink, so don't worry about the pan getting rather full. They'll all go down into a lovely sort of roasted squash. There.
Would you like to follow me?
I'll help Demelza with Mabel.
Right, see you later.
Who's Mabel?
The pony, Jennifer, the pony.
Lovely little church. It is, isn't it? It's beautiful.
As a special treat for the Dear Pony Club, I'm going to make a chocolate creme brulee. And here I've got a nice jug of double cream.
That's what I'd like to see, a whole jug of double cream.
No nonsense here. And a vanilla pod. Nice and aphrodisiacal. Just bend it in the middle, put it in the cream, and I'm going to heat the cream until it's scalding but not boiling. It mustn't boil, it just reach scalding point.
Well, it'll curdle, won't it?
That's right, it'll be horrible. And here I've got some icing sugar and 4 egg yolks. And I'm just going to put them into the icing sugar and mix them in well. It's not a French pudding at all, creme brulee. It's really Trinity burnt creams.
Cambridge, no?
Cambridge, that's right. Young Scottish man called Reed, who came down to be a tutor at Trinity and offered the recipe to the kitchens, and they declined it. Oh, no, don't want any of that nasty stuff.
Silly fools.
And he said, oh, well, one day I'll be Master of Trinity, and he was. And he had it
in quite the wrong way. I wonder what happened to him. I think it's no card.
Probably. I'm glad I'm not a pony club mother, though. Can you imagine all that rushing around, keeping all those little tots on horses and things?
It's total dedication, it seems to me.
Wonderful.
You have to get all the right clothes and the little ponies. Heaven knows what it all amounts to in the end.
Anyway, you're looking frightfully horsey in that headscarf, Jennifer. Quite like our own dear Queen.
I don't think she'd be too pleased with that, you. Horsey.
Mm.
The little children were sweet. I have a feeling we may have poisoned them.
Why is that?
I'm not quite sure we gave them quite the right diet. Everything was very highly spiced. You're piri, and I'm heavily garlic potatoes. Everything. I think they don't get the cullywobbles.
Oh, well, we'll be long gone by the time they have to clean up the mess in the morning.
Long gone and quick.
Yeah. Right, it's all very agreeable, these outings to the countryside.
You know my feelings about the country.
Well...
Cold and wet.
You know you enjoy it, really, even if it only gives you time to grumble when you get home.
You're very good health.
And yours. Have a sniff today. It'll warm you up.
I don't know what I'd do in the country. I'd just take the snifters, I think.
And Goering and Rommel and told them they were doing their bit for the war effort by eating them.
They're particularly happy to eat Jerry.
Oh, yes. And this is loin of pork. But if you don't have loin of pork, you could use leg of pork for this dish. There we are. Right, well, I'm going to take this off and fry it. And I'll take my clams with me at the same time.
I love that mixture. It's a marvellous combination.
Mmm.
Now there are potatoes and potatoes, aren't there? I'm going to do a dish that I think will go extremely well with Clarissa's. It also goes very well with game or roasts. And it was taught to me by a great big Australian, so I call it Pete's Pommy Poms.
Pete's Pommy Pom de terre, surely.
Anyway, I think it's really delicious. Now, the essential thing for this is a mandolin. I'm very fond of using the mandolin. It cuts the potatoes very finely. And another tip is I've often seen people holding it that way, doing that. Well, it often slips like that, and you're liable to cut, start grating your knuckles into it. It's a great deal easier if you put it on top of a bowl, then you've got the pressure, and you just do that, you see, and it goes in very nicely. This is merely to show you I have a nice big bowl full underneath.
Do you think they're better than food processors?
Yes, I do, because I think it's no card.
Probably. I'm glad I'm not a pony club mother, though. Can you imagine all that rushing around, keeping all those little tots on horses and things?
It's total dedication, it seems to me.
Wonderful.
You have to get all the right clothes and the little ponies. Heaven knows what it all amounts to in the end.
Anyway, you're looking frightfully horsey in that headscarf, Jennifer. Quite like our own dear Queen.
I don't think she'd be too pleased with that, you. Horsey.
Mm.
The little children were sweet. I have a feeling we may have poisoned them.
Why is that?
I'm not quite sure we gave them quite the right diet. Everything was very highly spiced. You're piri, and I'm heavily garlic potatoes. Everything. I think they don't get the cullywobbles.
Oh, well, we'll be long gone by the time they have to clean up the mess in the morning.
Long gone and quick.
Yeah. Right, it's all very agreeable, these outings to the countryside.
You know my feelings about the country.
Well...
Cold and wet.
You know you enjoy it, really, even if it only gives you time to grumble when you get home.
You're very good health.
And yours. Have a sniff today. It'll warm you up.
I don't know what I'd do in the country. I'd just take the snifters, I think. Dried off a bit. We don't want them sopping wet. I put them in water to remove a bit of the starch. This is really the same beginning as dauphinoise potatoes. But they, of course, are cooked with large quantities of cream, not to be sniffed at, but this is different. Just pat them dry a bit. We don't want them slopping about the place. Now, get a nice little roasting pan and some very nice olive oil and put that in the bottom. Swished around a bit. Now, what we want to do is we want to put about 5 layers of potatoes interspersed with herbs, garlic, salt, pepper, you know, what you will. So you get them and layer them quite nicely. These potatoes are ziri. They're quite good because they're rather waxy.
You want a waxy potato for that?
I think it should be slightly waxy because I don't want them to fall to pieces, which some do. There, you get a layer like that. And now I'm going to sprinkle it with a variety of herbs. I'll put some parsley, a few little bits of garlic, some sprigs of rosemary, and delicious fresh thyme, which gives a wonderful flavour. Now, a little salt. You do this